Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist here at Fons & Porter. In this Sew Easy tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make split rectangle units. If you'd like to see more of our Sew Easies, you could visit our website. So we're going to be talking about this unit here in front of me. It's the unusual shape that makes fun angles in our quilts, but is a little bit harder to tackle. So we've got a tool for it, but I want to show you where it appears in the quilt behind me. Now, when you start to combine those angles in pieces, you start to lose where the individual units actually are. So we've got units that are here, made of red and navy blue. We've got red, those are navy and cream here, and also red and white or cream here. When we start to combine them, we get these wonderful angles in our quilt, and it makes a great motion through our quilt. So we're going to be using a tool today called the Split Rects, and it is created by Deb Tucker. And it's a tool that has a lot of information on it, and it's to our advantage. So what we are going to be using it for is actually cutting our pieces, and then we're going to use it as a trimming tool at the end. So to begin, we're going to be, you can reference the information that comes with the tool, but we're going to be cutting off of a 5-inch strip, and we're trying to get to a 2x4 split rectangle. So we're going to using these strips I have in front of me. I have put right size down at this point. So there's the print of the yellow and the tonal red at the bottom. Both are facing down. This will give us a mirror image items to put together. On this tool, you're going to start with your strips. You're going to trim to get an even end. And then you're going to be using the tool along this diagonal to cut your first piece. And what we're going to be doing is there's a heavy line on the tool here. That's going to go along the cut edge of our strip, and it has kind of a blunted end at the top, kind of an engineered point. And as you go down along, it will remind us that our strip is cut 5 inches, that we want a 2x4 finished unit. So we can make our cut here, and that will give us 2 pieces that will go together to create a split rectangle. Now, that's a split rectangle with an angle going in one direction. But in this quilt, we may, or in other projects, we might want units that tilt in the other direction. You'll notice here, these are 2 different angles, and no matter how you twist them, they're not the same angle. So what we can do then, very easily, well, let's see. Let's cut one more off of the strip in this form, because there is a way that we don't have to rotate the strip. We just can change the angle of our tool here. And what we're going to do is rotate it, and there is a heavy black line here, just a little tiny piece that sits along the bottom of our strip. There's a diagonal that we're going to slide up where we cut before. So when there's not a line up at the top, just worry about this diagonal and that little heavy line that our strip sits on. And we'll have created another set, and you can cut all of the pieces that you want then that have that type of an angle. Now, if we want one of those, remember we talked about ones that lean the other direction? All we need to do is flip our strip set over, and this time work with the right sides facing. So what we can go in and do is the same motion for cutting, the heavy line along the end of our strip set. We'll cut a diagonal for one set. Again, just by rotating that ruler, don't move the strip set, don't disturb it, just rotate it like a plate in your hand. You can cut another set, and those will angle in the opposite direction. Takes a little getting used to. Great diagrams in our patterns. There's also diagrams that come with the tool itself. And you'll notice then that these will tilt in the opposite direction. Because if we were trying to rotate this, it doesn't fit beside this. So it is its mirror image. So you can create them in combinations of the fabrics that, like in the quilt behind me, it takes a different combination of different colors, but then you can cut the number you need. Now, when it comes to creating those seams and joining them together, sometimes we get a little worried about what that looks like. When we put them right sides together, we're going to have little dog ears, and how do we slide things together? We want to have little tiny triangles, points off the end. You'll get used to after do a couple. I usually say the first couple of your pieces are your kindergarten pieces. You graduate quite quickly. So you do have little dog ears here, but stitch your 1/4 inch seam, go to the ironing board and press them open, and you'll have your split rectangle almost done. We need to go in with this tool. They're slightly oversized. Not a lot, you're not going to waste a lot of fabric, but you're going to create very precise piecing. So I've got one set here that's already pressed, and you can see that they're just a little bit larger than the set next to it. What we need to do is trim them. So on our tool, there were extra lines. We used a lot of them over here. You see these diagonals here? We're going to be placing that tool on top of our unit. And again, remember we're going for a 2x4 finished unit. There is a diagonal there. It says 2x4 finished unit. And that is going to go, that thin black line, lay right on our seam where the two pieces are joined. And you can see that the fabric extends just a little beyond the tool. And I can come in and trim safely 2 edges like this. And then take those out. There's not a lot of waste, but it will make our piecing really precise. If you don't like to use pins, this is where it's going to be nice. The pieces will fit together great. Again, we're going to use that same diagonal, 2x4 finish where it tells me to stop, right over the seam, and trim those 2 sides. Now that's for the block that angles in that direction. The other block has an angle going the other direction. Guess what? The tool has a line for that too. Okay, we're going to go again. There's the diagonal that goes across the block. This time we're looking for this outer edge, 2x4, so that we finished the correct size. Trim one side and the other. You will notice that the diagonal seam does not go right into the corner of the block. It's because it's a rectangle, not a square, so you've done it correctly. Don't worry. Now the last 2 sides, 4x2 finished. We'll make sure that diagonal's lined up, find center line there on that angle, and trim the last 2. And you've created perfect split rectangle units for your next quilt project. If you'd like to see more of our Sew Easies, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.